Am I the asshole for taking my older brother to a restaurant instead of taking him to the wedding? I, male 21, have an older brother, Adam, 27, and he's wheelchair bound due to a motorcycle accident that caused a spinal cord injury. Aww. He was living with his ex-fiancé, but my parents took him after she said she couldn't do it anymore.
Wait, hold on. So this is his brother? Mm-hmm. And he was living with, okay, got it.
He was living with with his fiance at the time.
She couldn't do it anymore.
This is literally the plot line of that movie, Me Before You.
I haven't seen that.
It's with Emilia Clarke, the girl that plays Khaleesi on Game of Thrones. Yeah. And Sam Claflin, this like really hot, tall guy.
Okay.
And he's like in love with this girl. They're engaged to be married. And he gets hit by a car or a motorcycle when he's walking across the street and becomes paralyzed from the neck down. Yeah. And his fiance leaves him for his best friend. Oh. And he actually does go to the wedding. The movie's amazing.
It is?
It's
would you chalk it up as like a romance or what is this?
It's a romance, but it's
like a thriller? Like what kind of like what's the
not a thriller. No, it's I don't even want to say it's a rom-com.
Yeah, it doesn't sound funny.
It's not comedy. It's just a romantic pulling at your heartstrings story.
Okay.
There's a book on it. I read the book too.
All right, I gotta go watch this. Anyway.
It's really good.
Okay, so she can't do it anymore. He goes back and lives with the parents.
Yeah. I come to take care of him every day. Started learning to be Adam's caregiver since mom and dad were becoming overwhelmed. I still go out, study while being there for Adam. It's been almost 3 years. Last week, my parents got a wedding invitation from Adam's ex-fiance's parents. Her family and my family are really close. Known them for 15 years. My parents told Adam they wanted him to come with them to celebrate and support the family. No matter what happens, the two families will be close. Adam said no. Dad lashed out saying he needed to stop being selfish and potentially ruining a 15-year friendship between two families by being bitter. I got involved after Dad said Adam had no choice but to go.
They're just going to wheel him in there without his...
Sounds like it. Like it sounds like they're like literally demanding that he go. You have no choice.
Wow.
I asked him to respect Adam's opinion, but Dad called me an enabler and that they get to veto his opinion since they do so much for him. That's not that.
This is abusive.
This is abusive. Yeah.
That's taking somebody who cannot physically like have a say and like taking advantage of that.
Well, you don't even know, like, he doesn't mention what level his spinal cord injury is. So it's like he could be, you know, quadriplegic. So, you know, the neck down, they call it tetraplegic nowadays. So you could be paralyzed from, you know, the neck down if it was a high, you know, vertebrae that was injured. Or he could be just paralyzed, you know, from the waist down and still like able to be very, you know, independent.
Yeah.
While needing some help, you know, with a caregiver.
Right.
So you don't really know what level he's at, but regardless, it's more abusive and more toxic if it's a higher level and he has less control. Because it's like, where is that person's sense of control and like personal choice, autonomy? They have none. They're dependent on everyone. And then you're taking away.
Yes. You're treating them as less than. Because if he was a fully capable, fully like
you wouldn't question his decision.
You'd be like, well, I don't agree with it, but I guess I can't force you. It sounds to me right now like they are going to wheel this man against his will to this wedding. Right?
It literally sounds like that. The dad seems like he's kind of popping off that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that it?
No. I left and stayed gone for 2 days. Adam said they were pressuring him and he couldn't take it anymore. The day of the wedding, I went to my parents' house, told them I wanted to go with Adam to the wedding and drive him there myself. Ooh. They said, okay. Told me to follow them and rushed out. Instead of following them, I drove Adam to a restaurant out of town, 2 hours away. Badass.
I kind of love that.
I love this.
That's like a movie plot.
This is great. I love this. Good for him. And like taking care of his brother and giving him a sense of control. I love that. We had a great time there. His frown turned into a joyful smile.
Oh my God, worth it.
Seeing him like this made me feel relieved. Once I turned my phone on, my dad specifically was livid, calling me a manipulative liar, asking why I didn't follow them with Adam to the wedding. Talked about how embarrassed he was, repeatedly telling people, my sons are going to be here soon.
Sorry, they got caught up. Like, come on, that's not embarrassing. Like,
I mean, you didn't have...
One of your sons is in a wheelchair. oh, I'm so sorry. They weren't
He wasn't feeling well. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Like,
yeah.
what?
You just don't need like.
There was an emergency.
Honestly,
like, you don't owe anybody anything.
you don't owe anyone an explanation.
Yeah.
Let people do what they want to
Yeah.
do. Go there. Support the friendship. You can
Yeah.
keep continuing that relationship, but
Without your son.
this
there.
is someone's ex-fiance.
Yeah.
Not just an ex-girlfriend.
And it's the guy in the wheelchair, right? It's his
It's
ex-fiance.
ex-fiance.
Getting married.
Who left because of his injury, because
Right.
she couldn't do it anymore.
And she married somebody else.
Yeah.
And the parents went to the wedding, which
So,
is fine.
That's
but-
fine. But at the end of the day, watching him watch his ex-fiance, who he was in love with, walk down the aisle, that's the biggest slap in the fucking face.
Oh my God.
Why would that be a situation? Why, even as her, why would she want him there?
I wouldn't even, I would like honestly tell the family, like, we have such a close bond that I totally want you to be there as family friends, but I totally understand given the situation with your son, it may not be in your best interest and it may be uncomfortable. Totally don't feel obligated. If you're there, great. If you can't make it, I totally get it.
No pressure.
No, I understand.
Yeah. It's so wild. He yelled that I just damaged a 15-year friendship with the ex's family. I argued with him about how he ignored Adam's wishes and that being disabled doesn't mean he has no independence and opinions anymore.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Retweet. Yes.
Yeah. He told me to shut the fuck up about this bullcrap and be grateful he didn't call the police for what I did and demanded I bring Adam
Call
home.
the police.
It's not like he kidnapped him.
That's not kidnapping because Adam would just say, no, I wanted to go to the restaurant.
Adam was pumped.
Yeah. Adam was ecstatic.
No, what are you going to say? My son disobeyed me.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's arrest him.
I remember when my mom called the police because my dad decided my parents are divorced and they have a divorce agreement. So on Wednesdays at 5:30 was a handoff. And I remember one time my mom wanted to be petty. My dad picked us up at like 5 or like 4 instead of 5:30. And my mom called the police.
Oh my God.
As a breach of child custody. And
Tatiana.
the police literally showed up and they were like,
ma'am.
They literally looked around and they were like, wait, what? And she was like, no, she wasn't supposed to take him that early. And the police literally goes, I am not your babysitter. And he gets in his car and leaves. Did nothing. So that would be one of these cases where they'd show up and be like, I'm sorry, your son.
You're wasting our time, sir.
Grown men. No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Ridiculous. Dad sounds like he's completely lost his mind. Yeah. I dropped Adam off and left. Our family members berated me, saying I'm not a kid and should be held responsible for my recklessness and ruining the relationship between two families. Why is this ruined?
Sorry, Adam wasn't feeling what you just make
Lie.
something up. Yeah.
Lie.
Get creative, get colorful. Or don't. Your son is in a wheelchair. I mean, saying, hey, you could literally go, Adam couldn't make it at the last minute.
Yeah.
And nobody would ask questions because they'd be like, oh, yeah, we understand it's a little tough sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, they understand the situation. They'd obviously know what happened.
And they know the history. That's what I mean. Nobody would dig into it. No. I'm not even talking about his, the fact that he's in a wheelchair. I don't want to call it disability. I'm not sure what you call it, but
differently abled
circumstance.
Yeah.
Just the history. People would be like, yeah, Adam couldn't make it. Yep, got it. Nobody would be like,
no one
why?
would bat an eye.
Why? He didn't want to be here to watch this?
Also, I think people would understand that as well.
He didn't want a front row seat? What?
He didn't want to be up there clapping?
This makes me what's your take on inviting exes to weddings?
I don't know. I look at it and it's like, I'm on good terms with all of my exes. I'm, friends with a couple of them.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't feel obligated to invite them. Yeah. I don't know. I think it just depends on what your current relationship is. I think if it's someone you dated when you were younger and now you're still really close and they're active in your life, then I think it's different. And I look at it too, if I was close with one of my exes and wanted to invite them, if my fiance then had a problem, that would be a red flag to me.
Yeah.
So I think it just really depends. But in my mind, I'm I'm not close with any of them. So not close enough to invite them to my wedding.
They don't need to be there.
But no, I think it's it depends on the person, but it could be construed as a red flag.
Yeah.
If the person is I need my exes at my wedding. It's why?
Or oh, I need, not even exes. Just if there's one ex, they're just oh, no, I have to invite her. Why?
Why? I think some people like to use the argument, they're close with my family. I need to invite them.
Yeah, that's
I don't want to burn the bridge, which is, it's kind of this story where you don't want to burn this bridge that you're friends and whatever. But
if anything, let's be real. She kind of, if we're talking about family relations, when she left the son because of his like circumstance, that could be construed as ruining the relationship between the families.
At the end of the day, you need to realize like they could have broken up. He could have not had his accident and they could have just broken up.
Right.
Either way, they could have worked and they could not have worked. You should have planned for the what if they don't work.
And it shouldn't be a reflection on the family.
No.
They should be able to proceed regardless of their relationship status.
Exactly. Maybe in their culture, it's very, who knows. But the next line goes, to clarify, Adam's ex claimed they couldn't stay together not because of him being in a wheelchair, but because of something else. Adam said she was treating him poorly.
That's even worse.
There's a lot of he said, she said, like his word against hers. But
regardless, he doesn't have to go. That's the point here. Like if I invited one of my exes to my wedding and we haven't like, I don't know, my exes, I have different relationships with all of them, but like if I invited one of them that like I was fine with and he didn't want to come, I would accept that.
It's why would you be butthurt about it? Why would you be upset?
Right.
It's no reflection on you.
No.
It just might not be the right situation
and I would
for
understand.
them.
I'd be like, okay, yeah, no, like.
Cool. One less meal I have to buy.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah.
He's not the asshole. He's the hero.
Exactly. And I think everything he did for his brother was absolutely amazing. He goes on to say, like, my parents' relationship with Adam's ex is mainly based on doing each other's favors and act like they respect each other. But I know they're just looking for benefits and what they can get from each other.
The families? Weird.
Weird dynamic.
Weird.
Note, I'm currently renting an apartment with a number of roommates. I can barely afford rent, and that's why I can't take Adam to live with me. But I will be doing my best to get my own place and take him in with me. Unfortunately, it's not possible right now.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
He sounds like a really good brother.
Such a good brother. And he's young, too, at 21.
He's 21?
Yeah, so he's going to school and helping out with his older brother.
Wow, his family sounds brutal.
I know.
So brutal. No, he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's so amazing. I know. Like, a lot of people have been asking, too, what I do. Like, I've had some people message me, be like, are you unemployed? Are you a student?
Seriously?
Yeah.
People ask you that?
Yeah.
Why are you unemployed?
Well, most people are really nice. They're like, are you a student? Or like, what
Yeah.
Like, what do you do for work? And
yeah. Interesting. I didn't even think about that.
yeah, well, it's like, how are you doing this podcast? Like, and
But you could easily be like full career and doing that, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is.
I shouldn't say easily. I know it'd be hard.
It is very time consuming,
Yeah.
but I love it. And it's been a lot of fun so far, but I'm an occupational therapist. And so like, you know, dealing with people that are differently abled and, you know, rehabbing is like my specialty. Like that's what my whole job is.
Yeah.
So it's really upsetting too to see like a family come in and just completely try to strip someone from, of their like autonomy and their personal freedom
so
and their choice.
up.
So that story to me, I was like,
It hits home.
It does. And it's just like, yeah, he had an accident and, you know, the mental health aspect of coming to terms with that, like look at what he's gone through.
Yeah. Emotionally, from the accident,
mentally,
and then the
physically.
breakup. And then you want him to go like face that and
It's
support
disgusting
it?
that they would even
No.
ask
Ugh.
and then say, you don't have a choice.
Yes, I do. I'm a grown. Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah.
That story is gross.
I'd be calling the parents for abuse.
Yeah.
Brother can call the cops on the parents.
True. And he'd have a real case.